Hello Libra and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Little Apollo wanted to come up and say hello to everybody as well. Welcome to your monthly forecast where we're going to be taking a look at the next 6 to 8 weeks together. We're going to begin, as I put Mr. Apollo down here, again with the energy that comes through dreams and meditations. That's going to be channeled messages. And this is basically my way of connecting directly to source before we get into the Celtic Cross. And this can always be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus, by the way. We're going to be talking a little bit today about some parts of the body here that came through in dreams. So I always like to disclaim here that I'm not a doctor, but I do pick up on things as an intuitive and as a medium. So let's talk, okay? So first things first, I got a very clear indication that the throat chakra is going to be really important this month. It makes sense as an air sign that this is an area to focus on, but I was specifically shown this part of the anatomy and then also the lungs, so we'll go into both. And of course they have symbolic meanings as well, so I'll cover both of those. So with respect to the throat chakra, there's a lot of different areas that this comprises: the mouth, the tongue, the esophagus, your thyroid. There's so many different things that are kind of really closely, even the back of the spine, there's a lot that's connected in this space. And as an air sign where communication is key, this is a month where you, and I even forgot to mention like the voice. So our vocal cord and the voice box, all of that, that's there as well. So this is an important month for you to really get anything off your chest or out of your head or off your mind or off your shoulders. There's so many different ways of putting it, but it's kind of like when you think of where you're shouldering the energy, it can be here, it can be here, it can be here. And these are the areas that were showing up as affected. And this is the vehicle, this is the way for us to get it out this month. So it's a time to speak up. Some of you might just be seeking out counseling or advice. You just have a lot to say. So please find a way to communicate and channel it. Written communication counts. There are other ways that you can express yourself as well through art and dance and etc. But the voice, I really feel like we need to have the vibration happen here. So speaking is so important. And I did forget to put like your voice box or your vocal cords, but all of that is important as well. Okay? So simply exercising this space by singing, speaking, and then also sharing what it is that you have to say, so important. So the next piece was the lungs, and it's all connected, folks. Clearing the air is the sort of symbolic thing. So if there is any sort of misunderstanding or anger or something that just needs to be released, this is a time to clear the air. And then you can breathe deeper, you can breathe more easily, you can sleep more easily. What my guide showed me was specifically the cilia, which are these kind of like little scrubbing organisms on the inside, or features, I should say, of the pulmonary system. And basically they help get toxins out. But when it was really close up, it kind of reminded me almost like a forest, like a kelp forest or something moving. And it was kind of beautiful and almost exotic looking. And I had to kind of Google it. I'm like, is this the part of the body? Yeah, this is what I'm looking at because I saw the pictures. So this can also indicate environmental things. So it could be like a work environment, and it could be more figurative, like a toxic work environment where people make it difficult for you to be happy. When you're working there, there's like bad morale or bad attitudes, or it could be that. There could also be something in your physical environment that's agitating, things like allergies. There could also be toxins in the air as well. So clearing the environment and clearing the air both symbolically and also really clearing it, making sure that you're in a safe environment. All of that is a part of this message. If you're smoking, this is a time to consider a healthier lifestyle because smoking can paralyze and even damage the cilia. We need and want that part of our body to function so that it can clear out the lungs. So a lot around communication and clearing. And I mean, it's both energetic and environmental. So however that sort of fits for you, embrace that message. And I hope that you found something useful here. I use the Fool because sometimes we just need to get outside and clear our mind, get a fresh sort of perspective, and also a nice deep breath of fresh air, hopefully if you're in a city where the air is clean. But this is just about finding that space to breathe in your life too. There may be relationships around you where it's just sort of very constricted and it's difficult for you to kind of take a deep breath and be yourself. All right, everybody, let's shift focus now and take a look at what's coming through here in the Celtic Cross. Again, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. welcome everybody. It's good to see you. I appreciate that you've taken some time out of your day to take a look at all of the energy coming through. You can watch this during the month or before the month. It does not matter. It will help you either way. In fact, sometimes when you come through a little bit early, you're more prepared and you have more of a chance to affect the outcome. So welcome no matter when you show up here. I'm glad to have you. All right, give me a moment just to lay out all of these cards and then we'll talk. Okay, we got two that were connected there. Two queens too, interesting. Lots of cards sticking together today. This is unusual for me. If you ever want to find any of the decks that I use, there's a link to my website. I'll make sure I put that in the pinned comment below. And I'll put something on the screen as well. All right, everyone, let's begin with your Catalyst card. In the position of the Catalyst, you got Agape, and Agape is unconditional love. It's love of the highest source. And basically, it's so beautiful because this came through with the Six of Cups in the outcome. It's a reverse Six of Cups, but it's Six of Cups nonetheless. And if we look at the traditional illustration for this, it is a card here that kind of harkens back to the innocence of youth. Before we were taught that all of these conditions needed to be put on being loved and accepted. So there is this return to the inner child and the inner knowing that it's kind of like our divine human right to feel that sense of love and connection. And this is a month to reconnect with something that you love in your life. It could be a passion or a truth that you were made to forget because parents, society, or something along the way made you second guess it or made you feel that you had to change in order to be accepted. Agape comes through as a catalytic force this month to say, no, that wasn't right. You are perfect. You were perfect exactly as you were. This is a chance to reconnect with that truth, okay? It's also a reminder that higher love begins within here. It's interesting that I was picking up on clearing the pulmonary space because the lungs are very close to the heart. They're interconnected. So we need to clear some of that stuff that's been in our past, speaking our mind, letting go of the grief. You can hold on to grief in the pulmonary system too. So this is a chance to release sadness, fear, anger, and use the voice to help get it out. It's all coming together as I look at the cards now. Energy works that way. That's why I disclaim that I'm not a doctor, but I can see how energy can affect the body the more that I read and the longer that I've done this. So your central card is one of the best. I recently read this for one of the daily card pulls. I love the sun. Even though this card is reversed, it's one of those that is just invariably very, very positive. So this solar energy, of course, is going to be our solar plexus. So for some of you, there could be some power struggles. That would be the one reason that this could be reversed. Many times this is with parents or authority figures because that's where that first connection is in this universe as we are birthed. So what you're really doing is reestablishing your own central source of energy. You don't have to be someone or something for someone else. They have their own life and their own sort of things that they need to be focusing on, and you don't have to be their source of light. So this is about reclamation of power, of focus, and of purpose, and that's why it's reversed. It can also be an indication that there's it's a call to action from the universe, that there's something that's overdue. This is the cosmic time, this is the place, and this is the moment. So Libra, are you ready? I hope you are, Libra, because as we take a look at your Celtic Cross, it's a really good month in front of you. It begins with the energy of unconditional love. You have the ability to manifest partnership here in the Four of Wands. And then we have the Six of Cups energy here in the outcome. It's all about love. It's all about openings this month. Let's talk about what could either be speeding up or slowing things down a little bit. You have an overwhelmingly positive card here. This is the Nine of Cups, and this is about taking a moment, if we look at the traditional illustration, to drink in and really enjoy what you've accomplished. It's also a reminder not to go to extremes or to take one setback to heart. So each day offers opportunities. Each day is a little different. Some are better than others. And we never want to give too much weight to the best or worst day because they're not indicative of, sort of like the average. So it's really about making sure that the highs and lows don't get to you, okay? But I am encouraging you to have some fun, to celebrate, to hang out with some friends. It's good. It's good for the heart. And we really want to open up the heart space a little bit this month. Just moderation is key, so don't overdo anything, and I think you'll be all right. In the deep past, we have the Fool, which I featured on the second slide this morning. So I like the Fool because it's a card of new beginnings. We can see here a little baby chick getting ready to hopefully one day fly, maybe not quite ready yet to leave the nest. So some of you might be in the Genesis stage where things are starting to birth, and it's a really nice connection. These are two of the baby cards in tarot. Typically we have a little kid, maybe I'll pull this later, riding in on a horse on this card. And because this is the beginning of the journey of the major arcana, the Fool's journey, and it has the number 0, this is like birth. So this can even be interpreted as something that came to pass in a rebirth. So this is reinvention, rebirth, and having fun with that process of recreating, reimagining. This is not a period to try to repeat history. It's a chance to spread your wings and do something new, okay? And understanding that it takes a little time. It might take 1 or 2 attempts. When a little bird learns to fly, the first time it might just kind of, not quite do it. It's going to take a couple of attempts, and it may take a nudge. If you need some help, it's kind of interesting here. We have a couple of people in your surroundings here. 2 Queen cards, the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. A bossier card on top. So for some of you, you're learning maybe to kind of motivate or find your own sense of power and empowerment. And historically, there was someone there to kind of help you. But I like the way she's almost helping you in this point say, you can do it. So the universe is coming through right now to say, I know your heart may be feeling a little bit sensitive. Get in your headspace. Sometimes we have to convince ourselves here and the heart follows. Convince yourself here that you've got what it takes. I see you've got what it takes. The cards are showing me that, but it could be a little challenging for some of you to just sort of like believe it. And I get it. Through time, through experiences, we learn to trust ourselves. Some of you might be caught between a rock and a hard place. This could be 2 people that you care about, and they're kind of tugging at your energy. It could be in-laws. We could be looking at 2, like your mom and then a mother-in-law, and the 2 of them maybe not getting along. Some strong energy around you. So that's why this period in time, it's really important to ground yourself. Your outcome card is showing a lack of grounding. It's a very atypical 6 of Cups. Normally we would see this. This is, by the way, another baby card. So we have a lot of birthing and child kind of like energy here, but something's up with feeling confident and feeling grounded. So I think one of the journeys this month is finding your footing, possibly after getting out of a relationship, maybe going to college for the first time, maybe after losing a parent, whatever it is, there's been something that kind of unearthed what was normally stable for you. And now it's up to you to find firmer ground. And I get it. I've been through situations in my own life where that foundation is rocked, and it takes time, but you'll get there. And that's what the cards are showing. All right, let's take a look at this amazing top card. I wasn't even looking at this earlier, but you got all the cards required for love this month, Libra. And I don't focus on it, but I also don't ignore it. So we have unconditional love. We have 10 of Cups, which can be marriage, partnership, connecting with a social group. Again, 4 of Wands, which is typically very monogamous energy. 6 of Cups, which is soulmate energy, brotherly, sisterly energy, a really nice bond. And then something changing. So again, for some of you, it's this significant shift that brings in almost like high tide or something, all of this new energy. And I'm excited to see what you all decide to do with it. Let's talk about this first, though. So This is a beautiful illustration and an accurate one for the Ten of Cups, because look at all of the cords that are going back and forth between the cups. So this can be your friends, your family, your social groups, and you're trying to kind of create this harmonious chord between all of them. Sometimes we find ourselves stuck in that energy. Remember, when the cards are reversed like this, it's almost a reminder that they're just as lucky to have you as you are to have them. And sometimes we give too much prominence to needing to fit in. You're a part of that system, whether they like it or not, and you don't have to give up a part of yourself or change a part of yourself to make them happy. Unconditional love is that sort of, it's almost like they're welcoming you and waving you in, saying, we accept you just as you are. If you're not getting that, it's somewhere else out there. So this is a time to walk away from people who only love you because or if you are a certain thing or a certain way. So whether that's a job that you have, a relationship status that you have, a person that you date, a way that you dress, whatever it is that their constraint is, that isn't you if it isn't what you want, okay? So this is redefining how you fit in and understanding that you can also call in your own sort of chosen family. No matter how you slice it this month, there's a lot of people, a lot of manifestation energy, and a lot of potential for love and new things, new opportunities on the horizon. Even if you don't see it now, it's en route. So don't feel like you have to settle for something that's less than what you need, want, or deserve. Because as we look at the near future, we have the card of manifestation, the High Priestess. If you can see it, then you can find it. If you believe it, then you can see it in your environment. It is really about trusting in your vision and also trusting in what you're receiving. Knowing also that both positive and negative energy can be manifested through our thoughts. So let's try to manifest the positive stuff, right? Beneath this, we have a very auspicious card, the Four of Wands. I like that we actually don't see the people in this particular card, because it's telling you that you may not see it immediately. There may even be, for some of you, a period of time where there was nothing for a bit. So you might have a dry spell when it comes to friends or connections or work or love, but something is brewing, something is changing, something is shifting and uprooting that sort of cycle. And this is a time for change. It doesn't have to just be love. I read in a broader stroke on this channel. So what we're looking at is new connections coming through. How you want to connect with others is completely up to you. But I don't see like this desert energy anymore. I see it's like the rain is starting to fall and things are starting to connect, and you're starting to wake up a little bit from this period of change. So death reversed. Some of you needed to really have in your own time an opportunity to just be with yourself. Some of you might still be trying to wrap your head around how and why something came to pass. The good news is, if you're willing to entertain that this was a blessing and this opened a door, because death and rebirth are the same, they're just two sides of the same door, then you can start to embrace what wants to come through. So yes, we have death here, but we have birthing energy in triplicate, really, because again, if you look at this card, it's two little kids. So we have a baby, and two more babies here. Multiple opportunities for reinvention and birthing, but it does depend on your ability to believe that new things are possible, that change is incoming, and that you can be a part of that. I recently read this for one of the one-card readings, and I reminded folks that when death is reversed, it's coming through as a reminder that basically you no longer have to be a party to being ignored and or not appreciated. And right above death, we have the Two of Swords. Here's your traditional illustration for the Two of Swords. The blindfolds on this are telling. It's basically you could be putting your best energy out there, putting all your heart and soul into this, and there could be a partner, a boss, or a friend who just isn't picking up on it. That in and of itself is a form of communication. Indifference or ignoring is basically the universe saying, this isn't worth your time. This person isn't connected. They're not really appreciative. Find a place where you can be, where you can plug in. Think of, for those of you that have traveled, you have to find the right adapter in order to plug into a receptacle, a power receptacle. You can't force something. And sometimes people just lack the receptive energy. They can't accept your frequency, and vice versa. You might have kind of amped up a notch frequency wise, and you've got to find a different connection. So go where the energy is. This is something that I've talked about a lot. Also have faith. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening, because we see again with this, the ability, she was on top. The high priestess is manifesting something greater, but initially there may not be a lot of obvious things coming through. So go back to, if you don't see it around you, figure out what you want. Figure out how and where you're going to go to get this, and know that there's someone out there that's willing and ready to receive. So an end of stagnation, an end to things where the energy's just going nowhere, like a dead end. A decision to walk away from people, places, and things where you're not being received, and a decision now to take some action. In hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have the Ace of Wands. This is like a light bulb. So for many of you, you finally have figured out, I want this, or I need this, or I see this value in me that others around me haven't, but it's always been there. It's an aha moment, an epiphany. So rather than, it could come from someone else could come through and say, have you thought about this? And it lights up that epiphany. But for many of you, you're just having this aha moment yourself. And suddenly it's like you've got the keys to the kingdom and you've figured out what you want to do. Take some time this month to do some soul searching, to do some dreaming, to do some meditation, journaling, introspective work, therapy, whatever you need to do to unlock this and this, because I feel like once you've opened and cleared those spaces through the communication, some great stuff is en route. This is also for those of you that might be meeting somebody new, very good, because this shows passion and this shows connection. So if you're trying to manifest either love or just a really high partnership, you've got the ability to do so. This is also about, like I said, a light bulb moment. So a really good time for you to put into motion new ideas. This is basically manifestation, and this is the dream or the idea. So the fact that you've got all of these going tells me not only can you do it, but you don't have to do it alone, because we have helpers here, we have helpers here, and we have helpers here. And this is now a nice segue into your outcome. So in the outcome, we have Six of Cups. I always like this card. It doesn't matter if it's upright or reversed. And again, the traditional illustration shows the innocence, the connection to youth. When we're looking at partnerships in general, this is like a karmic partnership or a soulmate. Now, this is also showing that neither one of you is more or less important. So in some relationships, we only see like one party, but you can't have the tree without the root system. And what I'm getting for many of you is you've played a large part of your life being the root system, and you want to now sort of like flip the script and experience things from a different perspective. And rather than being the support for everybody, you might be in a place where you want to lean on others for support or have a moment to shine, because at the center of the spread, we got the Sun card. That's good. You're perfectly aligned to do that. You can play either role. Not everybody can do that, but you can. We also talked about the importance of finding your footing after a significant shift. Some of you may be stepping out of a job, a relationship, may have just moved, may have lost someone, or even had a brush with death. All of these things can change your perspective. Incontrovertibly and undeniably, you're going to be in a different path because of that. And that's actually a good thing, because life, we're meant to change. Through change, we develop. It's like going through the chrysalis and coming out the butterfly. This is a transformative month for you. And I'm excited to see, especially now as we delve into your expanded forecast, what those opportunities are specifically in these major areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. All right, let's begin with the health card. And just like this says, this is mind, body, and spirit. I'm not a substitute for a doctor. I'm here to look at the energy. Let's look at the energy of health. We have, I am protected by source. One thing that you can do this month is get more connected to your spiritual practice, or whatever it is that you call source energy. This can come through meditation. My grandfather was very spiritual. He did it through gardening. While his wife went to church, he was outside gardening. He said, I don't like the traffic and I don't like the people in the parking lot. I like to be here in nature. This is my devotion and my offering to the universe. He was way ahead of his time. But my grandmother preferred to practice her faith in church. So there's different strokes for different folks. And I've found in my own sort of life that sometimes I could get just as much out of going to yoga, because you're breathing, you're connecting to your own energy, you're able to connect to source in the process, and you're doing it with the group. It's the same thing. There are different ways to connect to source. Some of us compose music, some of us choreograph dance, some of us construct something beautiful, building in our life or something like that. You can do it in so many different ways. But you have to create and strengthen the connection. And that's what it is all about this month. So however you feel like you can plug into source best, this is the month for you to do more of that. And know that that is going to strengthen your resolve. It's going to make you more aware. It's going to give you more energy. Again, exercise is also a way to connect to source energy. So all of these things are coming through. Let's look at some other things with respect to how to be happy and healthy. So solar plexus energy with this, strengthening the core, okay? Lots of ways you can do that. Yoga, Pilates, and other forms of exercise. Work with an expert on that. This card has to do with emotional highs and lows. So one of the things that's going to be challenging for some of you is navigating those highs and lows. As I said, speaking and connecting with others, leaning on experts, that's going to be helpful this month. Getting out and doing some low impact exercise. The Fool is about walking, or for some of you, maybe swimming. Little baby steps towards a healthier lifestyle is what this card is bringing forth. Finding a group that you connect with. This is finding a chosen family. That is really important to have that support sort of group, especially as we get older, especially as there might be some challenges in families. You can go to someone else and get a clear perspective. Spiritual, sort of a deepening of the spiritual path here with the High Priestess for sure. Some of you are actually natural mediums. You might be increasing your mediumship, and you also might be grieving a loss here. And as I said earlier, this kind of connection, this kind of situation takes time, so it helps to talk through that. Ultimately, though, it looks like you're making changes for the better. So this is rebirth, this is rebirth, this is rebirth. And then we see new connections, new people, new ideas, and for many of you, finding your footing for the first time in a while. So I feel like you're in a really good place. One thing to help you, this is the key, the catalyst is like the key for the month, self-love. And really making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that have the same self-respect and the same unconditional love towards you as they do themselves. All right, so it's pretty manageable here when we're looking at health. I didn't get anything other than this, stagnation. There could be a place that you're working, living, or existing where you're just feeling stuck. So one step at a time. It does not have to change overnight. Carving out 5 to 10 minutes a day to research or move the needle forward. That's your homework assignment for the month ahead. All right, moving over here to your wealth card, we have the Oracle. Wealth is resources, life purpose, and career. Let's turn this card upright. It says, wait for important information. Also, I would say here, don't be impatient. Sometimes we expect a manifestation to happen overnight. So High Priestess, and Oracle is the High Priestess. So this is something that's happening and brewing, and we see partnerships, new ideas, but it could take a hot minute for some of this to sort of take shape and form. So this is an uprooted tree. You need to give it time to get a good firm foundation. If you try to make it happen too quickly, then it may not have the foundation to last. So this is saying, with respect to your money and your career and your life purpose, no shortcuts, not right now. This is a time to focus on slow, steady, and substantially supportive energies. You don't want to sort of take an unnecessary shortcut. All right, let's specifically look at wealth. We don't have pentacles, do we? What I would say here is it's time to change things up. We don't really need it when I see this. So it's telling me that for some of you, there's more than money, that's not what matters, or you put enough time in a job or an activity and you're not getting the return on the energetic investment, and so it's time for a change. Go where the energy is, and if you're not seeing it where you're at, it might be time to shift things around. There also could just be an idea, but in action. Because what happens with this is you're waiting for, like I said, the obvious. And sometimes you just have to come through and decide how, where, and if you're going to make something happen. Nobody can make that decision but you. So this is a reminder here of your own power, your own vision, and to trust in that, not to second guess that. I am really impressed with the ability to connect with others or attract others. We have people cards here. We have love and relationship cards here. And it could come as a surprise to some of you at just how well you communicate and can connect with others. But this is a really good month for marketing, for communicating, for launching something, because we have this sort of rebirthing and reinvention energy coming through. Again, it's a chance to turn things inside out. Something that didn't happen before, you get a second chance now. You get a chance to really prove your potential. What I also like here is the ability to not have to do this alone. So I said this earlier, but when it comes to manifestation, there are partnerships, there are people around you that can help. You have the ability to do it on your own, but you don't have to unless you want to, okay? Let me see what else is coming through here. I would say for some of you, if you have a great idea, protect that. Make sure that you get everything exactly where you need to when it comes to legal protection, etc. And that will help make sure that you, again, have that firm foundation in the future. Otherwise, I would say it's just time to take a first step in this direction, okay? And trust your heart and trust your vision and see where that takes you. Are you ready for love? Because that's what we're going to look at next. So in the energy of love here, we have Kuan Yin with care and compassion. So let's take a look at this card. This says, choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. This card being reversed very much connects to what we saw with the Ten of Cups earlier, which is saying also do what's right for you. Because, you know, there may have been a period of time where you were sacrificing your own happiness for others. That does not have to exist anymore. So this is a chance to also extend that care and compassion inward, okay? So sometimes doing what's right for you is also doing what's right for everyone, because it is the unconditional love and support which you deserve, which you've earned, which is going to help you be happier, healthier, and able to maintain the relationships that matter most in your life. All right, let's take a look at this on a few different levels. I always like to begin with those in a relationship, then we'll look at those that are either looking for love or single and happy. If you're in a current relationship, this is where things kind of were interesting. So some of you may be in a sort of situation where you share, there's an ex, because so there's a child in the picture, because we had the Six of Cups and we had also the Fool and the Sun. So there could be an ex that stays in and is co-parenting with you, right? Some of you may also have, there could be two people that it's a blended family. So there could be a couple of partners that are on the side that have to come in for the co-parenting. And that's a lot more common now than it used to be. And it can be managed. Actually, it seems pretty manageable here, but there are some changes here. And for some of you, it feels like, this is very much, you want to keep the past in the past. And it's sort of like you wish you could ignore that, but that's a part of the reality of, having blended families. So that's one challenge for some of you that are in a relationship. For the rest of you, this could be a rebound. So you may have lost a partner and you're thinking, can I love again? Yes, you can if you're ready, because we have multiple cards here, and you can listen to the single and looking portion because you kind of fall into that category. But what needs to happen first is the healing. And, for those of you that have lost, and it could just be someone in your life, you may still be partnered, but talking about that loss is so important. I know after that, I lost my mom, I had to talk to someone a little bit to get that out. And it's still something from time to time that you have to talk about, because grief comes in waves. It doesn't ever really sort of permanently leave you. You learn to get used to the fact that someone has transitioned in the spirit, but you miss them in the real space, right? So if you're going through the grieving process, it continues in different ebbs and flows throughout your life, and it can come up at different points. And so if you're experiencing that little hiccup, it's okay, it's natural. So talk to someone. That'll help you through it. That'll help you get your grounding and help you appreciate, where you are and where they are. But for those that are in a relationship, there could also be, these two cards are really good. So what I like about this is not only can you make it through, but I think you will, as long as you are communicative. What needs to be worked on is acknowledging that there could be some places of stagnation, that there might have been a major change in one or both of you, and a lack of communication or a lack of appreciation are the only things getting in the way of an otherwise healthy relationship. And then also negotiating if there are like extended family members or exes in the picture, how they play a role and how you're going to sort of like navigate that part, because that can always be tricky, but open communication is the key. And High Priestess can make it work, and especially with the Four of Wands and Six of Cups. These are very good cards for partnership. This is a very good card for partnership. This is a great card for all of that. So love is the answer and communication is the key. If you can keep those two things in it, you'll be able to deal with changes or extended family members or exes. That's just a part of being, on the planet for a while. There's going to be some complications, but you can work through it. And this is also a chance to allow yourselves to continue growing and changing. You marry one person, but over time, you both are going to change. So as long as you're in it for the long haul and you allow each other to change and grow, you'll be fine. If you want them to stay stuck or you are expected to stay stuck in time, it won't work. So that's the only challenge that I'm seeing there. If you're looking for love, it's karmic, folks. Death reversed is like rebirth, and it can be a karmic relationship. This is karmic. Again, if we go back to the Six of Cups, I always connect this with a karmic relationship. And it could come through unexpectedly, the Two of Swords. It could be something really exciting, something where there's a lot of chemistry, a lot of passion. And you would probably meet this person through an existing group of connections in your life. So say yes to invitations when it comes to parties. Always say yes this month anyway, because you never know where you might meet that special someone. The only thing that I see, Libra, is maybe there could be some things you need to clean up in the past here, because there's a couple of folks from the past. One of those might come back into the present. And so you could ask yourself, are we done? Are there things left unsaid? Clean that up first so that once you pull someone in, it's the right time, the right person, the right place. But it could be big if you're looking for love. This is a really great card. So unconditional love, lots of passion, lots of chemistry, and the ability to take this to a really deep level, because this is monogamy and this is like best friend energy, and you really want that. You want the passion, you want the monogamy, and you want that sort of sense of it's you and I. So I definitely get that for those of you that are seeking love, okay? So those are pretty auspicious messages coming through. By the way, if you are in an existing relationship, the birth of a child is just a major change. So we got a lot of child cards coming through. And also maybe there is, for some of you, there could have been difficulties in the past, but a surprise birth or a pregnancy. So pregnancy in general can be a very challenging thing in any relationship as you're going through it, because it changes things and there's a roller coaster of emotions. So be there for each other for those of you that are going through that. Now, for those of you that are single and looking, one last note here, which is be open to be surprised. Like, I feel like this person can come into your life unexpectedly. So keep believing that, things are possible here. Be specific in what you're trying to manifest, and then let it go a little bit and say, I'm open to be surprised in the highest forms, beyond my wildest dreams. All right. For those that are happily single, it's a really good month for your networking skills to come through, and possibly just really good boss and management energy, because this is creativity, this is leadership, and these are people that want to follow you. So it's a really good month for business and leadership and personal development. And the only thing that I think is happening for some of you is maybe a feeling of boredom. And so this is a chance to reach a little bit and try something new, really shake it up and do something that's a little bit different, okay? Let's move on to the Destiny card. We have a slowing down energy. A panther in reverse is basically saying, don't kind of like jump to conclusions. Don't rush into something too fast. Slow it down a little bit. Make sure that you do land on your feet. Any cat card, it doesn't matter if it's a traditional domestic cat or a panther here, they have the ability to have great reflexes, to land on their feet. And one of the key things here is to trust your instincts. And I think as long as you do that, you'll be all right. Slowing down, though, is the main thing here, okay? Don't rush and don't get impatient, okay? Let's go ahead now and take a deeper dive into the energies of Sun, Rising, and Moon and see what's in store for you. sun, rising, and the moon. In the sun sign, we have Temperance coming through, and this is a reminder here for you to be patient with yourself and to listen to guidance. If we look at the traditional Temperance card, we can see that it is an angelic card, that there is sort of this path in front of you, but it takes a little bit of time. One thing that you have to do is balance everything out. So we looked at this Six of Cups card in reverse, which can represent for some of you that feeling of, again, maybe not having your footing, about maybe putting so much energy into a relationship or into a person that it's sort of like, well, where do they end and where do I begin? So this is a chance for you to reclaim your own sense of self and to understand that there's more to the equation here. This is also saying, put your passion into something that brings joy into your life. I like that this bird is fanning the flames of something that's important. And like anything in life, it takes time for those seeds to germinate, for them to grow. Plant the seeds now. See what happens a month or 2 or 3 from now. You'll be glad that you were patient, that you didn't take the shortcuts that we were talking about when it came to wealth and personal development, and it's going to be worth the ride. One thing, again, is to listen to the subtle signs. Angels don't kind of like scream in your mind. They work very subtly, very gently, and they really want us to kind of discover it for ourselves. So you're being guided each and every day. Trust in that guidance and see where it takes you. Okay, moving on to rising sign messages. We have the Page of Wands, and it's in the reverse state, and this is reminding you to keep an open mind. This is especially true when it comes to ideas in business, in school, or personal development. Being open to a different path, one that is unexpected, or maybe in your own mind, maybe just something that you never imagined, could be exactly what the doctor ordered, because it's time for a change, for something different, right? So being able to also listen to get inspiration is key here as well. So reading a book, reading the newspapers, watching television, kind of absorbing what's going on around you can help inform and inspire, and also help you realize, wait, if that person did it, I can do it. And if this seems like it's something that people are relating to, then maybe there is a case for me to explore this. So keeping an open mind and observing your environment are going to be really, really important to your ability to both effectively communicate, but also effectively launch something or create something in your life. And just being open helps you with recognizing something wonderful that you've manifested when it comes knocking on your door. Okay, let's move now on to the moon sign messages. You have the Three of Wands, which is one of the best cards. If you look at the traditional illustration here, it basically is saying your ships are coming in. What you're trying to manifest is happening in real time. What is important, however, is that you are able, just like we were talking about earlier in the rising, to look around in different directions, because it solely depends on if you're looking at those ships or if you're looking behind at what was or what might have been. Always focus on the potential on the horizon with this card, and also look in unexpected places. And if you're doubting yourself, this is saying maybe it's right around me, maybe it's within what I'm looking for. I don't have to go out and find. I'm the agent of change, or I'm the agent of manifestation. Because one of my favorite decks, the Lightseer deck, you would see this person as a surfer. So they're not even waiting for ships. They're going to be both the source of manifestation and the vehicle for delivery. So see that as a potential as well. This kind of reminds me of a dream catcher as well, which is just saying that you have all that it takes. The dream, the vision, the ability to create, it's all there. So embrace the possibility and expect that things could happen much, much faster than you may otherwise think. Either the Three or the Two of Wands with the High Priestess, they're very, very powerful. Like this, things are happening. And again, perhaps aided with the help of others here, the Four of Wands, a trusted colleague, best friend, or someone that you really love and appreciate, okay? These are great messages, folks. Let's go ahead now and go to the final card and final message for today. And the way that this works is, I do my best each and every reading to navigate the cards and interpret everything that I see here, but there's always one extra question I'm sure that you have about your life. Now is your chance to ask that question. So focus, if you will, on your final question, and I'm going to pull a card and see what Spirit has to say. All right. we have one of the best cards that could come up for the final question. Again, this is something that you need some assistance in navigating. We have the Strength card. The Strength card is a reminder that you can do this. What I really love about this is we no longer see a struggle on this. Typically there is a woman and she's opening up the mouth of the lion. That is absent here. This is just you saying, I don't have to prove myself to someone. I don't have to acquiesce to someone else's demands, and I don't have to force them to agree with me. I'm going to move in a direction that's good, where I can just be myself without that sort of struggle or the tug of war. This is just strength. This is just the potential to be the best version of you and not have to apologize and not have to push. And that is great, folks. This is also saying that if you're trying to get through a challenging situation, you have the strength and wherewithal to do it. You are a force to be reckoned with. This is one of the best Divine Feminine cards you can pull, and I'm really happy that it came through as the final message for today. Okay? And as a yes card, a yes-no card, it's a yes. But it's basically, again, putting the lens within. You have the power, you have the strength, you have the potential. As I read it, I even get a crown activation. So it really boils down to seeing and believing it here and here. Everything else will follow suit. All right, everybody, that brings this reading to a close. But before we sign off, a couple of quick notes here. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and leave me an emoji below. If you're launching something new, it can be a picture of a baby chick. If you are getting your grounding, maybe a picture of a tree. If you're finding that inner strength, you can put the lion. Let me know what it is that you're working on this month, Libra, and how it's kind of connecting to this reading. I always love to see how things resonate. You can also give me a follow across social media so you never miss out on a future video. It's always my name, @NicholasAshbaugh, on all the major platforms. When in doubt, you can always go to my website for some additional information just to make sure that you've got the right person, the right connection, all of that. A quick reminder that I do not give any private readings. I know there's a lot of people out there that pretend to be me and other readers, but if anyone offers you something in a direct message, just block and report them, please. Just a quick programming note, every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, I publish new videos. I also do daily readings, and there's a live stream every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Again, follow me on social or opt into notifications to make sure that you never miss any of these. Thank you, everybody, for spending some time with me today. Sending you the best now and always. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.